Hi, this is Ogres, and as you can see, I'm wearing my PlayStation t-shirt. I got this back in January. I'm wearing it for the first time in a while in a video recording. Yeah, I've also washed my hair. You can see it's clean now. Just took a shower before. As I'm recording this, it's after midnight. It's 12:22 a.m. right now, April 13th, 2021. By the time I started watching the kickoff show for WrestleMania 37 Night 2, it was just before 2 p.m. So it was like over 10 hours ago. And then by the time I started to watch WrestleMania 37 Night 2, it was 3:11 p.m. There was a delay because I had to change my clothes because of the Zoom meeting earlier in the day, and then I had to brush my teeth after the big lunch I had. Yeah, so I watched WrestleMania from 3:11 p.m. to about what was it? I mean, my computer crashed. Not my computer. The WWE Network crashed, so I had to reload it. It took 5 minutes before the main event match, which was 31 minutes left, I think. So it probably took me just over 4 hours in total to watch WrestleMania 37 Night 2, including the kickoff show. So that is 5 hours. And if you combine that with last night's WrestleMania 37 Night 1, that is 1 hour plus 3 hour 45. Yeah, 5 hours for both nights of WrestleMania 37. That is 10 hours. My God, it's madness. Including the weather delay for night 1. It was originally supposed to be, what was it? A 3.5 hour, 3.5 hours for night 1 of WrestleMania. It turned into, what was the combined total? Like around 4 hours, something like that. So anyway, yeah, this is Ogres, by the way. So the WrestleMania Night 2 kickoff was around 59 minutes. So I got into WrestleMania 37 Night 2. It took place at the Raymond James Stadium, April 11th, 2021. Or my time here, it was April 12th, 2021. I watched it on the replay because I was busy from 10 to 2 yesterday. Or 10 to 1:30-ish. The opening was Ashlyn Crafts singing America the Beautiful. She's a country artist. I have no idea who she is, so I need to check her out. BB Rexa, I'll do research on her probably in the afternoon. So probably 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. Today. Yeah, the opening segment was again the WrestleMania 37 host Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan welcoming the fans to WrestleMania 37 Night 2, and they were dressed up as pirates. They even did some pirate talk, which was interesting. I thought I would never see that at a WrestleMania, but I have now. Okay, the first match to open up the show, and it was over 20 minutes in at this point. It started at the 22-minute, 13-minute mark. Oh, what is wrong with my stomach today? For the last 24 hours or so. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. The first match on the show was, of this 7-match show, was Randy Orton versus The Fiend with Alexa Bliss. This match started at the 22-minute and 13-second mark. It was a weird entrance for The Fiend. It was actually better than the match itself. He came out of a jack-in-the-box, huge jack-in-the-box that Alexa Bliss winded. And that's where it ended for me. About 5.5 minutes in, she appears out of nowhere on top of the box with this weird black ooze coming out of her mouth into that new makeup on her face. Like she's supposed to be freaking intimidating. She distracts The Fiend, and then Randy Orton just hits an RKO out of nowhere on The Fiend, and he wins the match. What was the point of this match? It didn't make any sense. The crowd crapped on it in the end. They booed. They should have at least made this a stipulation match, or at least they could have done what they did last year at WrestleMania 36 on night 2. They could have done a Firefly Funhouse match with what they did with Cena with Randy Orton. They could have done the same exact thing. Randy Orton still could have been put over, but at least it would have made sense. It would have been a cinematic match. Or if they won't do that, then if they're not going to do that, they could have done a trying to think of something that makes sense, because the Fiend was normal again. Not Hell in a Cell, because they'll just botch that anyway. And there's already a cage match on the show. What was it, last night on WrestleMania 37 Night 1? So I'm trying to think here. Either a Falls Count Anywhere match or Last Man Standing is the only thing I can think of for this, but it doesn't matter now. It's a pointless feud to begin with. Hold on. Excuse me. Had my dinner late last night. Yeah, the match ended at the 28-minute and 8-second mark. Then there was a backstage segment. WrestleMania 37 hosts again with Eric Bischoff, and then Bayley just comes in. And then Bischoff leaves. He wants to get onto his boat with Hulk Hogan, and then Titus O'Neil just leaves because they're sick of Bayley, and then he just leaves the pirate hat on her head, and then she throws it off. Typical heel from Bayley, but I'm kind of getting a little bit sick of her heel work in recent times. She's starting to put over talent, but at least Sasha Banks means it when she puts someone over. Bayley, I think she's just doing it for herself. So big F you to her. No offense to her, but yeah, big F you. I preferred the Bayley from I think when she first came to Raw from NXT back in, I think it was 2016 or something. Yeah, that version of Bayley I preferred more compared to the Bayley of today. I understand why she had to become heel because she was flatlining in 2019, but I mean, come on. She held the SmackDown Women's title for 380 days, and it took it took losing the women's tag team titles with Sasha Banks against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler for her to turn on Sasha Banks after she freaking helped her butt out throughout her most of her title reign. So yeah, big F you to Bayley. Anyway, the second match on the show is Natalya and Tamina, who are the winners of the tag team turmoil from WrestleMania 37 Night 1, against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, who are the women's tag team champions, and this is a championship match. I guess it was a good ending. What happened at the end? Oh yeah, Natalya got the tried to put the sharpshooter on Nia Jax, but she wasn't a legal competitor in the match. It was Shayna Baszler who got that chokehold from behind. I think it's called the Kirifuda Clutch. And then she makes Natalya pass out. She makes Natalya pass out, and then they retain the women's tag team titles. I thought it was an okay match, but it wasn't anything special. At least it was better than the first match. Excuse me again. It started at the 36-minute and 28-second mark, and it ended just before the 51-minute mark, so it went just under 15 minutes. It served its purpose, but the build was very, very weak. There was only 1 week of build for this match, and then the tag team turmoil match. I mean, come on. That's not how you build a freaking women's tag team division, or even a match for WrestleMania. They needed to build Natalya and Tamina up a lot more than what they did. So maybe they'll continue this feud into WrestleMania Backlash, which was announced before or after the main event. I forget when, but yeah, I'll get into that later. Then the third match on the show is Sami Zayn with Logan Paul as his guest. who sat at the near the ring, the announce table, versus Kevin Owens. This match started just after the 1 hour mark. By this time, I was starting to really get into WrestleMania. I think this match woke me up. It was a short match. It was only 9 minutes. It went until the 1:11-minute mark of the show. Kevin Owens hit the stunner on Sami Zayn, and he pinned him for the 1-2-3. So there you go. I believe Kevin Owens has won back-to-back WrestleManias now against Seth Rollins, and this time Sami Zayn, who is known for a long time. So yeah. I can't remember if he's been in any other WrestleManias, but the last two I remember very well. The last year and this year. After the match, Logan Paul pushes down Sami Zayn because he was trying to get with Kevin Owens. And then Logan Paul raises Kevin Owens' arm, but Owens looks at him. He pretends to smile and then go to shake his hand, and then he gives him the stunner. I mean, Logan Paul did get booed, so he did deserve that, I guess, in a way. I had no idea who this guy was. I sort of knew who he was the previous year or the year before, like who his brother was, but I didn't know who the hell this guy was in the mainstream until probably that SmackDown from 10 days ago, I think now, less than 10 days ago. Yeah. Oh yeah, then there's a backstage segment. Riddle is on a scooter. He talks to the Hall of Famer, the Great Khali. His former manager Rajan Singh just leaves, like a minute in. He's trying to sell him on some sort of idea involving scooters in India. I forget what it was. I tuned out at this point. I didn't really care. But then RVD, the 2021 Hall of Famer, shows up. He actually saved this segment. If it was me though, he did the RVD thing with the Great Khali, I would have beat up Riddle with the scooter because he annoys me at this point. So far in the show, I am 3-0. These were my predictions. Randy Orton to win by pinfall. I got that right. The women's tag team titles to be retained by the champions. I didn't say who would get the pin, but that's the second one I got right. And then Kevin Owens to get the win with a stunner. That's 3 out of 3 so far. Then, next match, which I got really excited for, was Sheamus versus Riddle for the US Championship. I really wanted Riddle to lose his title bad. This match started 1 hour 21 minutes 53 seconds into the show. I was really alive at this point, so this match ended in about 10.5 minutes. Sheamus got the win by pinfall after bro kicking Riddle out of the air. He made his mouth bloody, that's how brutal it was, and he became the new US champion for the third time. I believe, has he won a US or IC title at WrestleMania before? I don't think he has. Usually he's won a world heavyweight title, or he's defended tag team titles, but I'm not sure. But if he's won a US or IC title at WrestleMania before, I think this is his first time. So yeah. So I'm 4 for 4 at this point. And the next match, I think I lost this one because I picked the wrong person. Not the wrong person. There was interference in this match. So that's how I knew. No, a timestamp of this match because it was very short. It was like a 5 to 8 minute match, if that. It was Apollo Crews versus Big E in a Nigerian drum match for the Intercontinental Championship. And I wasn't excited after this match ended because no drums were used. It was just a normal no DQ match, so regular one. But the guy that was formerly Double Kato, I'm not sure what his name is supposed to be. They call him the big guy apparently. He interferes and chokeslams Big E, and then Apollo pinned Big E, became the new Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania. So at least that's something to get excited about. But it's my first pick that I didn't get, so I'm 4-1 at the moment. Yeah. When was the last time the IC title changed hands? I think it was WrestleMania 34, I think. When Seth Rollins won, I believe. I think it was at WrestleMania, yeah. Hold on a second. Oh my god, I need to get Gaviscon or something for my just acid coming out. But I have to wait for about 3 or 4 days for that. Anyway, one sec. Sorry, excuse me. I think I'm right now. Okay. Then there was a segment in the arena. The Hall of Fame class of 2021 came out. Basically the same as the Hall of Fame class of 2020 from the previous night. Except the headliner was Kane. He came out. He was just a normal guy without the mask. He did these hands in the air and then both arms down with his fire pyro to come off. And that was the Hall of Fame class of 2021 inductees being honoured. Now this match I was looking forward to since Rhea Ripley debuted after Fastlane on Raw back in March. So this had 2 weeks of build, I believe. I think it was 2 or 3. No, 1, 2. She challenged Asuka to a match at WrestleMania, and then this had, I think, 2 weeks of build. But I think the wrong person won, and I'll give you my reasons in a minute. But Rhea Ripley probably needed this win more because of what Charlotte Flair did to her last year at WrestleMania. But on that same token, I think Asuka deserves a rematch at a pay-per-view. Either Raw or pay-per-view. She deserves a WrestleMania Backlash pay-per-view rematch. I think it was after this match or before the main event, something like that. They announced that WrestleMania Backlash is going to take place May 16th, I believe. It'll be at the Thunderdome again, but from a different building. I think it's in Florida again. Yeah, I'm still gonna watch that. I just need to roll over my subscription after April 25th, so I need to make sure that that's paid. Yeah, I am gonna watch that pay-per-view. I'm also gonna watch whatever pay-per-view comes in June. I want to go all the way to SummerSlam to see if there's live fans are gonna come back. So yeah. So this match started at the 2 hour 14 minute 43-second mark. So there was 1 hour left in the show at this point. This match just went under 14 minutes, I believe. It wasn't anything special, but at least Rhea Ripley got Rhea Ripley and Asuka got their WrestleMania moments in the same match in front of live fans. At least Asuka came in as a champion this year, and she got a semi-main event spot, which is nothing to sneeze at on the last, nothing to be ashamed of. Yeah, I mean, co-main event. I'm gonna call it the co-main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 37. But yeah, that ends Asuka's 224-day reign as the Raw Women's Champion, which I thought was a excellent reign. She just wasn't booked properly on pay-per-views when it came to. She rarely defended it. She defended it at Clash of Champions, and then the title versus champion match. I think she lost that one. She wasn't even in a title match at TLC, as it was for the tag team titles. I mean, she's undefeated at TLC, but it was kind of pointless. She should have had a women's title match. Royal Rumble, she wasn't even on the main card. Elimination Chamber, they should have fitted her onto the show, even though it was only 2.5 hours. They could have had a match for her. It could have been even a semi-main event before the main event itself. Missed opportunity right there to make Asuka at least look decent before she lost the title. And then Fastlane, I don't know what the reason was that she didn't have a match. Hold on a second. I hate it when this comes up. There we go. Yeah, I mean, she was injured after Elimination Chamber, and then she I think I remember, yeah, that's why she missed No, she was back before Fastlane. She was only gone for 3 weeks. She went to the dentist to get her temporary teeth put in. What was I gonna say? Yeah, Asuka was competitive in this match, but she had a great look. She had somewhat new gear, and the hair looked nice. The Rhea Ripley was great. She was sung by what's her name, Ash Costello. She sang her intro theme, but it was kind of off because of the sound acoustics. But yeah, not as memorable as the main event of WrestleMania 37 Night 1 between Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title, but better than Charlotte Flair being in it. That would have made it a lot worse. I thought there was a certain spark that was missing because of, I think Asuka's injury, but I think kind of derailed of what she was going to do, I guess. I think the plan was to have a long match, like 20 to 30 minutes for Asuka at this WrestleMania, but 14 minutes is almost 15 minutes is better than nothing, I guess. At least she was featured this year. Last year, I don't want to even talk about last year. Anyway, moving on. There was a promo by Bob Odenkirk who promotes his new movie Nobody on Peacock. I think it's Peacock, yeah. On demand for April 16th, 2021. I thought about seeing this movie, so I actually, since I don't have Peacock, I have the WWE Network here in Australia. I may actually see this movie in cinemas, depending on if I have enough cash to go to see it. Most likely it will be the week of April 19th. So I think Tuesday is a cheap discount day. So a week from today, as I'm recording this, so April 20th, maybe I'll go see it. I'm definitely seeing a movie on Monday, so that's the 19th of April. So maybe I'll do back-to-back movie days. They're both discount days, which is good. So the 19th of April and the 20th. Unfortunately, they have to be after 2 p.m. because I have Zoom meetings on both those days. So yeah. So I'm not sure what I'm going to see on Monday that week. Maybe something I haven't seen before. But yeah, maybe I'll see Nobody on the 20th of April 2021. Apparently, it's a really what do you call it? It's a really violent and coarse language filled movie. A lot of coarse language in it. So yeah. Then there's a segment in the arena. WrestleMania co-host and Bayley. Then the recent Hall of the co-hosts come out and then Bayley comes out again. Then the recent Hall of Famers Bella Twins show up because Bayley disparaged someone, and then she mentioned John Cena when it came to Nikki Bella, and then they attacked Bayley. She did kind of deserve that. She brought it on herself. So, and then what I've been looking forward to the whole night, for the whole show, match number 7, the main event: Daniel Bryan versus Edge versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title in a triple threat match. Roman Reigns is champion going in. He is almost 8 months into his title reign at this point. This started at the 2-hour 53-minute mark and 28 second mark, yeah. So there was like 22, no, 7. There was just under 30 minutes left in the show. There was entrances, so there's like 31 minutes left. The entrances took up some time, but the match went for about just under 22 minutes, so about 21 minutes-ish. Roman Reigns was accompanied by Paul Heyman and Jey Uso. It was a competitive back-and-forth match. I thought this was the best main event in a long time. Better than the last 2 years combined, I must say. Maybe even probably the best main event since WrestleMania 31. So better than 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Better than the last 5 WrestleManias combined, and that's saying something. So yeah. So there was some interference during the match, but during the match, Bryan and Edge gets their submission holds on Roman, and then they attack each other. Edge hits a lot of steel chair shots during the match on Bryan and Roman Reigns. There was a lot of this. There was a couple of finishing sequences, but I'll just get to the ending. How did it end? Oh, that's right. Roman Reigns. Oh, not again. I thought it was over this. Just give me a second. I think I'm better. Okay. Yeah, Roman Reigns. I think he hits a couple of spears or one spear on. No, two spears on Edge and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan falls and then Edge falls. He puts Edge on top of him, I believe. Then he he puts his body on top of both of them and pins them both. And he retains his Universal Championship at WrestleMania 37 Night 2. So that was a surprise ending. I really thought Edge won the Royal Rumble. He would have at least pinned Daniel Bryan to win the match, but that didn't happen. So, but I did pick Roman Reigns to win the match. So I finished with 5 predictions correct and 2 not correct. I thought Big E was going to retain his IC title, but he didn't. And then I thought Asuka was going to retain her women's title, and she didn't. So there you go. That was WrestleMania 37 Night 2. I thought it was a solid night of WrestleMania. Not quite as energetic as the first night, but still up there. I thought it was 8.5 out of 10 overall. I would have gone higher, but the first 2 matches brought it down for me. It wasn't until the 3rd match where it picked up for me. So yeah, probably a 3.5 out of 5 stars for this night of WrestleMania. Yeah, the first 2 matches really brought it down for me, but the rest of the show was very memorable and awesome. So yeah, I give this WrestleMania night to a B+. Not quite up there with WrestleMania 37 Night 1. That was like an A grade, but B+ for this night. So, or a solid B, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this video, and give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. Yeah, I think that's it, pretty much. Yeah, I am pretty tired at this point. I've been recording for over 25 minutes now, I think. So I will. I'm gonna watch some wrestling tomorrow or today, I guess. Whenever I can. Like after 2 p.m. Then I guess the plan is to record the April 16th, 2001 edition of Raw's War. I've already watched that, like, I think last week, so I'm going to record that at some point. Then I'm going to record the review of the recap of recap of the Raw before Backlash 2001. Then I'm going to watch Backlash 2001 most likely this Thursday or Friday, and then I'll review that. Then I got a wrestling show here in Melbourne live on Saturday night. It'll be my 3rd wrestling show since early March, so in the last month or so. And it's going to feature a match I haven't seen in person before. A no-rope barbed wire death match. I've never seen that live, so this will be my first time ever. But I will review that show after it's ended, probably the day after. So yeah, this has been Ogres. Peace out.